good to add to salads as well for a little bit of extra crunch, or just garden snacks. And that's another one of my main strategies for growing in my edible gardens. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my garden. If you're new here, my name is Holly and I am growing in Perth, Australia, which is about a zone 10B. It's currently July, which is the middle of winter for us, and the garden is starting to come to life. So I wanted to give you a full tour of my raised garden beds. I have 4 in total out the front of my house, as well as a whole lot of other fruit trees. I have over 200 different types of fruit trees and edible plants in my suburban garden. But today, let's take a look at these raised beds, see what's growing. You can see that I have a whole lot of things packed in. I like to grow really high density and use succession with time and space to grow a lot more things. So let's go take a look. Starting off in this bed here, I don't plant a whole bed of one thing. I like to completely mix it up, have them random. I found this works really well for keeping the bugs at bay, because if the bugs decide that they really like my broccolis and they find them, they don't have a full buffet of broccoli here. They just have one here, one there, and others in other garden beds. And yes, I do get bugs eating my veggies. So if the bugs aren't eating your veggies, that's when you have a problem, because your plants and your veggies aren't part of the ecosystem. And it's quite concerning if things aren't eating your veggies, because bugs don't eat veggies when they're covered in pesticides and things like that. So the fact that they are eating my veggies is a good sign that they are healthy and they are delicious. So I'm not too worried about that, but I do have a whole lot of tips on how to get the most veggies out of your garden without the bugs eating them all. So if you want to see that video, then let me know, because there are a few things that I specifically do to help keep the bugs under control naturally, so that I can actually get a harvest out of these plants. Because I don't have huge gardens, I do want to be able to harvest as much as I can in a small space. So first up, I plant out some of my bigger plants, the things that are going to take up the most space in the garden bed. Those in this garden bed are some broccoli. I've got some purple sprouting broccoli and also some purple cauliflower. Those are going to end up taking over a lot of the bed, so I've planted them on the edge here so that they can sort of grow out over the edge, and I'm not taking up excess room in the garden that I could use to grow other things. Whereas if I just planted 2 right in the middle, they'd take up the whole space and I just get 2 cauliflower. Instead, I'm getting lots and lots and lots of greens and root vegetables as well. So I've got my purple cauliflowers, I've got 2. Then I've got some chard. I love growing rainbow chard. So there's all different colours. I've got red, yellow, orange, as well as the standard white silver beet. I think this is maybe the Ford hook, or it could be pink. I don't know. I let a lot of things go to seed in the garden, so some of these things are things that I haven't actually planted, that I've just self-sown. And that's another one of my main strategies for growing in my edible gardens. We've got our purple cauliflower, we've got our rainbow chard. Those take up quite a bit of space. I also have my sprouting broccoli. These are taking up a lot of space at the moment, but this is old radishes that I'm letting go to seeds so that I can save the seeds. And the aphids are on there, so I'm leaving that one there because that is becoming my sacrificial plant. It's going to attract more of my predator bugs to the garden so that they can eat the bugs. So I don't like to eliminate all the bad bugs in the garden. I definitely keep some so that I can attract ladybugs, predator wasps and all the things, because if I don't have any of those bugs like aphids and caterpillars, then I'm not going to attract the predator bugs, because why would they come when there's nothing to eat? So we've got some radishes that are going to seed, and then I have my filler plants in between. So those are things that grow really quickly, or that I can harvest individual leaves from. So things like lettuce and rocket, celery. I can start picking those as I'm waiting for these bigger plants to grow. And so there's so many radishes in here. I didn't plant the lettuce, and there's like a sea of lettuce coming over here. It's like a carpet of lettuce actually that self-seeded from previous years. I've got some sage, I've got some garlic chives in the corner here, more lettuce, edible flowers, which is a must for me. In all my gardens I have edible flowers because they attract the beneficial insects, the pollinators, as well as the little birds, which you'll see they are loving my pineapple sage, which is my favourite herb in the garden as well. I've got some kale. I have a random papaya in this garden because I grew papaya from seed and I ran out of places to put them. So there's one right there, which is like way shorter than all my other papayas I grew from seed. So I'm guessing just the soil and the limitation on space is keeping it dwarf. So it'll be interesting to see if that fruits. Down here I've got one of my grapes that's growing to go up the arbor, hopefully, and give me some shade for summer. More lettuces, some herbs. I've got some mini cabbages, so I haven't grown cabbages in ages, so I wanted to grow some of those. So I've just got the mini ones because they'll take up less space. So yeah, things that I can start eating from this garden is I can start eating the leaves on the rainbow chard, I can start eating the leaves on the broccolis and the cauliflowers, some of these outer leaves. I can pick them off and that's going to let more light into the things on the bottom levels. Also lettuce, kale, and the radishes are starting to come through as well. Obviously, always I've got herbs, so garlic chives and sage. So this garden bed here has, again, the same cauliflowers, cabbages, broccolis, kale, silver beet or rainbow chard, lots of edible flowers. We've got lettuces down under here as well as I've planted a few flower seeds that I've never grown before. So I have some cosmos, whatever, flowers, because I just felt like my gardens were a little bit too green and I wanted more colour. And so I've planted a few more flower varieties. I've got zinnias as well in there somewhere, as well as in other parts of the garden. So I'm really excited to see those. I can't even remember what colour they are, but I think come springtime, this is just going to be loaded with beautiful flowers and veggies, which is going to be amazing. We also have some grass starting to come through, so I do have to come out and just sort of pull out some of that grass to keep it at bay. I've got this horrible creeper grass that just like sends down little roots, which I do not want to take hold of my garden beds. I actually can see also some little carrots are popping up, so I sprinkled in some carrot seeds as well, just randomly in between all the gaps, and so those carrots are going to start coming up. I can start harvesting those. Got these beautiful lettuces, like look at this, it's so lush. So I can start harvesting these lettuce leaves, which I have been doing, and I always I've been picking off these chard leaves that are going over the lettuce to give it more light. I also have a chilli, which is coming to life. So this chilli plant grew from a seed. I've got chilli plants out the back, and some of the older chilies that were just shriveled and dried, I just buried them in the garden so that those seeds could pop up and regrow. And because I've been growing them in my garden for so many years, they're really hardy and strong and used to my climate. So they have been growing all through winter. You can see it's covered in flowers. It's even got some little chilies on it. So it's a really hardy little chili plant. And this as well is going to give me some shade and some structure for my summer garden bed, and that is absolutely crucial here in Perth. We have extremely hot summers. Shade is absolutely key. So if I can already have something established and growing during those, springtime when it's starting to heat up, I'm going to have a lot more success in getting things growing. Also, if I could get the damn grapes to grow in this arbour. One is 3/4 of the way up. The other two are not really, three actually, are not doing much for some reason. Well, actually I know the reason. I just planted them in the poor sandy soil and I need to give them more nutrition. So I'm going to do that. But we created this beautiful arbour to grow some vertical food on to start giving me some summer shade. So grapes lose their leaves in winter, and then they have leaves during the summertime when I need that shade the most. So This will hopefully be the year that happens. And this is pineapple sage, which is my favourite herb in the garden. It's got a sweet, slightly pineapple flavour to the leaves and the flowers. I use it in everything. I use it in salads, use it in roasts, use it as decoration on baking. It's my favourite herb for sure. Plus the birds and insects love it. And in this garden bed, I have lots more rainbow chard. I had a few things that have continued to grow, like this radish that is going to go to seed eventually. Lots of carrot seeds, lettuce seeds, again, cabbages. It's all very similar stuff, but the fact that I have it spread out in different garden beds means that they are also growing at different rates. So some of these garden beds get more sun than others, meaning the stuff that gets more sun is growing a lot faster. So that naturally gives me some succession as well, and everything is not ready at once. And the soil is a little bit different in each garden bed, so some will grow more vigorously than others. So that's another reason that I like to spread my plants out to different garden beds, is that they're not going to be all ready at the same time, meaning I can just eat as I go and extend my season and not feel pressured to harvest it and eat it straight away. I've got some peas that are growing up this little string line here, so I've been harvesting a few of those. They never make it inside. They're so delicious just as garden snacks. I have tomatoes popping up. So I grew tomatoes in here over summer, and it's so hot here, they really struggle. So I had a lot of tomatoes that got half rotten because of the inconsistent watering. I don't ever get an amazing tomato harvest, but those ones I just bury in the soil, and when the temperatures start to warm up, the soil starts to warm up, they pop up and regrow. Because we've had quite a warm winter, they've started to pop up. So I have some really healthy looking tomato seedlings popping up here, and some more in this garden bed as well here. And I'm just going to let them go do their thing, and I'll hopefully get some tomatoes. I mean, I've still got basil growing here, so there's basil going through winter. It is like seeding, so all I do is I just pick off some of the seeds and sprinkle them in other gardens, and they will pop up probably in spring, and I'll have basil and I don't have to do anything. More flowers here in the corner. I can see carrots all through here, as well as rocket lettuce, and who knows what else, because I just sprinkle seeds in. I've probably got beetroot in here as well somewhere, and it is a little bit of a mixed bag, and I love that. And this big one here, this is last year's Romanesco that I let go all through summer. It looked terrible, and now it has come back to life, and it has got all separate different heads on it. So I think I'm going to get a lot of little baby Romanescos, which is pretty exciting, because I've never done that before. Let something survive through our harsh summer, but look at it go. And this one here is a radish, again, that's gone to flower and seed. You can eat the flowers, they have like a real subtle flavour. You can also eat the young radish seed pods. These are really great. You can actually pickle these. When they're green, they're really crunchy and sweet. They don't have as much like of a peppery taste as a radish does, so they're quite good to add to salads as well for a little bit of extra crunch, or just garden snacks. Kind of tastes a little bit like celery actually. So we've got kale, which obviously you can use in nearly every meal. So I have kale in salads, stir fries. I just throw it in everywhere. And as well as radish leaves as well. There's just so many things you can eat while you're waiting for your main crop to grow. So you can eat the cabbage leaves, you can eat the broccoli, the cauliflower, the radish, everything. It's all edible. Oh, I can see little snapdragons, I think those are, popping up. I sprinkle seeds everywhere. Oh look, some carrots are popping up, so I'll get rid of this leaf. And even the bug-eaten leaves, you can eat those, give them a good wash. I often use these to make pesto because once they're all blitzed up, you can't tell the difference. Or I just throw them in the garden as some chop and drop, some breakdown and feed my fruit trees. My favourite thing about growing gardens like this that are a little bit wild, that a lot of things are self-seeded, is they're more resilient. They're harder to kill, which I love. They're less maintenance, and they sort of never leave you with nothing. And I love that because starting from scratch every season is hard, and I never have to do that because there's already like tomatoes popping up. All the lettuces have popped up that I grew last year. So having things that are always popping up is exciting, and also it saves me from having to constantly try and get things to grow. And it's a really good way to learn because you can learn to identify. I can now know pretty much when seeds are popping up what they are based on their leaves because I've just watched them grow and been excited about trying to figure out what they are. I've also got lots of deciduous fruit trees around my veggie patch to give me more summer shade. So this is a nashi pear, and I have another one on the other end of this garden bed. Over here I've got custard apple. So these usually lose their leaves in winter. This one has got only a couple leaves left, but this one, the Paxton Prolific, it's still holding quite a lot of leaves. I've got another custard apple here. This one is the African Pride. And this little basket is a lot of random things that I had left over. So there's some flowers, some lettuce, some more flowers, and some little seeds. And if you want more tips from the garden, make sure you subscribe to my Tuesday Tips newsletter. I put out a newsletter every Tuesday. Unless I have nothing interesting to say, then I don't bother to bombard you. But it's got lots of helpful tips and tricks on how I like to garden, and also how to grow more food naturally and sustainably at home.